Okay, I think I fixed it just in time. I'm 7 degrees off here. And oh, glide slope, dude. It's because we're so close now. Okay, 100 to go. Gonna look up. Not bad.
That's cool, man.
I'll be honest, I got a little nervous there. That felt real.
You can use the simulator for an amazing amount of training, which I think you're showcasing right now. It doesn't have to be all about fun and doing loops and barrel rolls.
Testing out some brand new sim hardware while getting ready for multi-IFR training.
And I'm going to dive into the ground while I'm looking at my iPad.
The Diamond Twin Star DA42.
I saved it. That was fun.
Nice.
Guess
I wasn't sure what was going on there.
With this much speed, we can do a full roll.
Absolutely. Only in the simulator, man.
It's always fun to come home to a big box on the doorstep.
Good, buddy. It's a big one. I don't think it is.
With actual flight training put on hold, I'm making use of the home sim. I want to thank Thrustmaster for recognizing the value of sponsoring aviation content.
I'm not kidding around. This is a double mystery box. Okay, so this is kind of a big deal. As most of you know, I'm a stick-based pilot most of the time, so I really like to fly stick as opposed to yoke. So Thrustmaster knew that, and they wanted to see what I thought of the new Airbus replica stick. This is hopefully a very versatile stick. I will definitely try out some Airbus flying, but most of what I fly is not airliner stuff. But this looks like it's going to work well for all sorts of things, so I'm going to check it out.
The goal is to share the process of multi-IFR training in a DA42. If you're not caught up, I documented the entire process of getting my single engine instrument rating. I did that in a PA-28 6-pack using a GNS 430 and no autopilot. It was definitely a challenge, but now I'm moving up to the Twin Star, which I'm excited has a stick, but I need to learn the G1000 glass panel. So I'm starting with homework, and my flight sim streamer friend CptCanada is here to help.
All right, cool, man. Well, thanks for jumping on here for my first try with the stick.
No worries at all.
As a guy that flies stick, real airplanes, I'm excited about it. I know what an Airbus stick looks like. I was impressed to see this thing is quite an accurate looking replica. Subconsciously, I had a concern that it was going to be like dedicated left hand or whatever, like not being ambidextrous, but it did come with those little button doodads. So that's handy, so you can swap it out, you can customize it if you want to just fly anything like a Warbird or something, like which is what I'll be doing also. So that's cool, man. So it looks like it is going to be a pretty good stick for all purposes.
Almost all their joysticks are ambidextrous. Their joysticks and their throttles, so it's a cool little feature that they offer, definitely.
Okay, and then yeah, I didn't capture the process of plugging it in, but right now I've just got throttle set, I got gear up and down, flaps up and down just for this airplane, just so I can go test it. There's so many buttons here, I haven't coded most of them. Okay, well anyway, and yeah, I'm not at all familiar with this airplane really. I'm supposed to do real world training in this thing, and everything in the world that's real got put on hold since I was supposed to start this in April. Let's launch, and then while we're climbing away, I'm gonna basically refly my flight test approach and try to just make it happen without really knowing what I'm doing in this airplane, while talking to you about
Sim stuff.
That's it.
And play with the stick. So I'll hand fly for a minute while I launch out of here, and then I'll put it on autopilot while I get us to the beacon and brief an approach plate and talk to you about your world of streaming.
Here we go, full power, brakes off, holding my hand on my mouse because I don't have a throttle. Yeah, so I guess that's worth noting. We're waiting on a pretty cool throttle as well. We're allowed to talk about that, right? It's just we can't show it. It's not out yet.
Yes, by the time this video goes up on the 18th, that everything will be announced. As content creators, I believe end of July is when we're expected to get the throttle in.
Cool. I just realized I took off without takeoff flaps, but it worked.
That's it, it worked.
All right, so we're climbing out here.
Yeah, I mean, this stick is really nice. Very small inputs are making small effects. I feel like this is really feels quite real. I didn't do anything with weather today. I just let it be. I think I have mine set to like real conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the best way, right?
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna start my turn out because I know roughly where the beacon is, but without knowing those avionics, What I am going to do is get a capture going of my iPad. All right, so I'm capturing that, and I've set myself a direct course to get to that beacon, which I'll use to fly my approach. Okay, so just, you can't see my setup, but my desk is in a state of flux because I'm upgrading from my old panel, which got me through my initial training that I learned on the GNS 430 and a 6-pack.
I've since given that panel away to Jamie, who's enjoying it with his son, while I wait for my next setup, which I will also give away when I'm done with it.
And I'm now going to move to the G1000, which is what this airplane is, so I'm going to get a whole new panel going, so my desk is kind of bare. So I do have the stick too far forward because of where my desk is at, based on where my pedals are. So I've got a bunch of dumbbells behind my desk chair. But I'm going to need the stick. I'm going to build a little platform, I think, to kind of position the stick down and closer to me.
You see that they're going to be offering that as well, right? The Thrustmaster.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Okay.
they're actually going to offer it. I believe the throttle and the joystick are going to be able to connect to it.
Do like a platform thing?
That's exactly what it is. Exactly. Yep. It overhangs by about 3 inches down, I think, off of the desk. So it basically clamps onto the desk.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm just getting myself on track here with ForeFlight. Give me a handy dandy cheat. And then what I'm going to do, I think at this point, is try to figure out how to engage this autopilot.
Yeah, I can somewhat.
I trimmed this down a little bit because it was kind of like the blind leading the blind while we sort of figured out how to deal with the panel setup. But meantime, I did want to mention that CptCanada and I will both be giving away a fair amount of Thrustmaster stuff over the summer, so keep an eye on social media for more details.
And you're saying, yeah, just scroll wheel that. Okay, I'm going to scroll
Yep.
that to 3000. I got my heading picked. Now I'm going to go autopilot.
Yep.
And I'm going to go altitude and heading. Okay,
Perfect.
altitude and heading.
There she goes.
Obviously, I need to learn the avionics, which is what I'm going to be doing with this sim.
That's it, man. It's all about, it's the hardest part is taking, like you said, like you're so used to reaching down and turning the dial, right? And the sim has all those little almost shortcuts just to make your life a little bit easier because you are manipulating it with a mouse and a keyboard.
Which
you
is
know?
what I don't want to do, which is why I'm getting
Yeah,
the physical.
That's it. Yep, exactly. You want to be able to build that muscle memory, right?
Okay, well, we're almost at the beacon. I was going to try to interview you before we got here, but we worked on technical problems. It's cool. We'll do a hold, and I'll talk to you about some stuff while we're doing that.
Yeah,
So I'm just
no
going to
worries at all.
use the bug to fly me to this beacon by looking at ForeFlight for now.
Yep.
And then real quick, I'm going to brief this plate. So I'm going to fly the ILS-12 into Hamilton. Okay, so I'm getting this turn, 297. For you, you're not going to be flying for real, but what do you do for navigation charts and so on? Do you use ForeFlight, or what do you use?
We have what's called in the sim world NaviGraph. It's a little bit of a dumbed down version of ForeFlight. It offers the same things. It offers the cookie trails and all of that cool fun stuff. They do have an iPad app.
But that's cool. We're at 3000, and I'm trying to interview you about this stuff. But yeah, for my purposes as a real pilot, I've still got my plate set up for my flight test where I used annotations to do cold weather correction and made some notes for myself to remind myself to talk about having enough fuel for the hold. And remind myself to be in GPS mode or OBS mode on the GPS for my nav, because that's a gotcha.
Yeah.
And I would be flying 3-mile legs, so I'm going to send this to the map and see how far away we are. It's another handy thing about ForeFlight. You can put the plate on the map. So right now I can measure this, and I'm already a little past 3 miles, so that's cool. So I'm going to turn inbound, and then I'm going to I have to quickly set up the loc on here so that I can actually track it.
Yep.
But let's we're going to turn inbound. Right turn to 117. So on this course, it's going to be a little bit off by completely guessing, right? I just basically guessed when to make that turn. That's actually not bad for lining up on a complete random without using my tools properly here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably painful for people to watch that know the G1000.
It's all in the learning process, and that's the beauty of the simulators, right? Is it just it's going to allow you, especially like with what you said with you getting the panel and everything. You're going to be in your home, in your basement, too, in the actual airplane, right?
Let's see if we can get this going. So I have needles. So what do I need to do?
So I just need you to zoom down here on your, if you can, just bring your camera right down in on that PFD, that primary display for me. I'm just going to take a quick look just because I'm a little bit unfamiliar. There we go. That's perfect. Thank you. So, I'm not the biggest GA guy, so the G1000 is even a little bit of a stretch for me. I taught myself on in the 172 on the 430, and that's pretty much the extent of my GNS capabilities. This G1000 scares me, if I'm being 100% honest with you.
Yeah, that's fine. It should. I guess what I should actually do is just go procedure, select approach. Like, yeah, let's do it this way, right? Enter.
You could do that, yeah. Yep, you could go direct Hamilton and
so
load
going
approach
this
in
way, it's just.
So you just have to be careful. You can go that way, but if you look at your, you just have to be careful. There's going to be a small cursor and a big cursor. Yeah, you just have to be. It's the click spots, man.
This is painful, and
yeah,
this is why.
So there you go. Yeah.
This is why I want the physical.
Yep, 100%. I agree with you. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to stuff like this. And do you know what's funny is I think that might change my whole experience with it. Maybe I would be a little bit more open. Yeah, it would. You're right. You know. So
I can't stand this, what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
If I wasn't using the autopilot to fly this while trying to do this, we'd absolutely be out of control.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We never did get it programmed correctly, but at least I got the loc to come alive.
But it's weird that the dial never moved. The localizer dial never moved.
The needle?
Yeah.
Or, well, because we're at full scale deflection.
Gotcha.
It's gonna happen. Like I'll even steepen up this intercept. It's gonna suddenly swing in. Watch.
There it goes right there. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Okay,
That
so
makes
at least
sense.
I'm situationally aware now. So now if I try to get us to 117, by the time it gets centered, we're gonna blow through the beacon. I don't have situational awareness of exactly where the beacon is because of not having it set up on the GPS here.
Gotcha.
So I'm literally just using ForeFlight. So I have the plate zoomed.
Look at how good you're getting it though, man. That's almost dead on. That's pretty amazing.
Okay, so now we're gonna pass the beacon, so I gotta turn outbound again. So 297.
It's pretty damn cool, man.
Enter.
We'll say that.
Alright, so I'm going to let that do a rate 1 turn to finish this briefing, and then so we should line up on our outbound course. So on the next one, I'll try to hand fly using the ILS, because I guess it's live because it's green.
Yep. Yeah, she's alive for sure.
I'll just disconnect the autopilot and fly it inbound once we get my dumbbells lined up here in my chair. So we're flying the ILS, so the minimums are 980. We're going to be descending out of 3,000 once I take control. Any questions?
No, I'm enjoying the view. I'm enjoying the ride, man. It's interesting to fly with somebody who did, like so much real world experience and stuff. Like for me, for a sim guy, like
and yet
I'm just taking it all in, just learning it,
Doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, so this is cool. So we're about to intercept everything. So I'm going to disconnect at this point.
Yeah, and fly, man. You're right on glide slope and everything too. It's perfect.
But it didn't take long for it to get not perfect.
Let's fix that. No full scale deflection. Yeah, it's a little awkward to use the throttle wheel, so I'm looking forward. Oh boy, full scale deflection on the glide slope. There we go, fix that. It's a little bit awkward to use this wheel. That's part of my problem here. I'm trying to use the throttle wheel.
Yeah.
Full scale deflection. Trim. I haven't set trim, and I guess I'm fighting
Yeah,
with
and
trim.
that could. Yeah, that's the big one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm fighting with trim, and I'm reaching into an awkward spot here, but not bad. Okay, so I think I bounced off full scale deflection on the glide slope, but if I was going to call the tower, I would probably say beacon inbound about now.
Mm-hmm.
If I had GPS, it would tell me, but I don't because I don't know how to set that up. G1000. Okay, we're still high. Okay, we have full flaps, we have gear down.
You're about a 4.5 mile final, 4.2 actually. I think it says it at the top.
Flight director is arguing with me, but I'm going to ignore that.
Yep.
Right, because it's clearly not telling me what I want.
Yeah, you can actually, if it's not too much, if you want to go to where you select your autopilot, right under
there's
AP
no chance that I want to do that
okay.
right now.
All right, yeah, no worries at all.
I'm going to just keep flying this by hand and fighting with the lack of trim. Okay, so we got about 500 to go.
500.
And I'm getting, not so great with my, my glide slope isn't too bad, but got to fix this loc. And my corrections are way too big. Gotta do the small corrections when you're this close. I have it set so I can't see out the window, obviously, so
Yep. It's very
this is
cool.
going to be a hilarious track to look at.
And it was. But we'll do a better job on the next one after getting the trim set up.
Yeah, these pedals are friggin' awesome. I haven't flown with pedals like this since the event in Seattle.
Yep.
They're like so real. They're so solid. Interestingly, I wasn't thinking about the stick at all during any of that, except for realizing I was fighting with the fact that I did not have trim control.
So that's a pretty good sign, because honestly, I really disliked flying with my old yoke. I pretty much didn't hand fly. I almost always used the autopilot. But anyway, once getting the trim set up, this thing really truly started to feel like I was actually hand flying.
So now I'm hand flying with the trim, and I'm able to let go and relax, and it feels so much better. So
absolutely,
having that set up, yeah, I was fighting with it before. The stick felt good, but the trim wasn't set, and that was my problem.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, you were making too many heavy inputs over and over and over again.
Yeah, it was also my first time trying to fly on iOS.
Yeah, exactly.
In months.
And now you see your flight director's coming alive as you're getting onto the slope. There she goes. She's following it. Yeah,
that makes life so much easier.
Yeah, yeah, big time.
This is like cheating after what I went through to get my, like doing the basic IFR with a 6-pack and a GNS 430.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it, but... So this approach we're doing right here is the real approach I did on my flight test. This is the real plate that I was looking at on my flight test.
Very cool. That's cool, man. And I think this is what everybody needs to understand about simming, and especially right now during the stuff that's going on right now, is you can use this as a very serious tool to train yourself. I think it's important to show the community that, like I said, it's not always about fun. Although, you know what? Listen, look at the way that I'm dressed. Look at the way that I'm here. Trust me, we like to have our fun as well. But look at how much better this approach is too. Look at this. This is amazing.
Yeah, flight director and trim. Those are the two differences right now.
Yep, absolutely, man.
And I guess
world of a difference.
I did practice. The first one was practice, just reminding myself of what control inputs feel like.
2-mile final runway 12 at Charlie Yankee Hotel Mike. Warning, airport not in current route.
And the iPad is telling me, it's really cool. It brings up a visual that tells you your 2-mile final, and it talks to you.
Okay, yeah, that's what we heard. That's what we heard before, and you were like, I can't hear it. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
that's exactly
because in the real world, I've got my A20 connected via Bluetooth to the iPad.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
I can hear everything so it's so cool. So even when you're taxiing, it'll tell you you're about to enter runway such and such. Like, there's no chance you can't accidentally bust ground clearance and like hit a runway without ForeFlight telling you you're about to enter the runway. Did you mean to? Like, you just won't do it. You know, it's such an additional layer of situational awareness and safety.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we have about 500 to go.
500.
And she just told me that's so cool. Like, right when I said it, ForeFlight just said it.
It's
such an additional layer of just, yeah. Okay, so I'm a little bit above glide slope. Get that down. I don't know what the approach speed is supposed to be in this thing. I haven't begun my training.
I believe it's about 90 knots, 85, 90 knots.
I'm flying what feels right, and I'm a little fast, so 94.
Yeah. I think you're pretty accurate. I believe that's
trying not to cheat by looking out the window. Okay, 100 to go. So this is in real life where I would look up for the first time, because you don't want to look up right at minimums, because then you'll bust, right? If I didn't see anything, you'd have to go. Yeah, so we would have said continuing. So yeah, cool, man. That worked out real nice. And just kill the power here and land her. Yeah, once we have the throttle set up, that's gonna feel so nice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Ah, beauty.
I think I bounced it, but whatever.
Nice and smooth.
Cool, cool. All right, man. Well, yeah, that was a really good first flight with the stick. I'm super impressed with how
set up. We got you.
Fun that is. And I think if we fly some tailwheel together, definitely is going to be a good ambidextrous stick. What have you beeping at me for? Oh, I think one of my GoPros died. Perfect.
Ice cream truck is parked in front of my house. Next in the pipeline is another build vlog.
I just want to open this box, man.
And I'm lucky to be in a position where a lot of things were filmed last year that I've yet to publish, specifically some stuff from AirVenture 2019.
My wife is buying ice cream. That's what's happening.
So even though we're going to miss the real AirVenture this year, there'll be some great content coming. Lots of awesome giveaways through July. So thanks for watching, and keep your flight chops sharp.